All right, hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today we're doing some F tier Fridays. So we're doing the long requested doubling seasons video. And this is a meme card that I think was made for me. I think that uh this is a card that is very, very hard to play. So basically like when I did my set review, right, this card was basically kind of like a meme card, like meme tier card. And I'll try to reiterate why, basically, right? So you're starting off at 0 base power. And the 3 cost of Fab normally comes in around for 7 or 8. 8 if it's like a good one, 7 if it's like kind of like a mid one. But doubling season being a 3 for 7 is like kind of like the baseline you want to get, right? So to get to that point, you need to buff it 7 separate instances, right? To just get it on par with just some other random 3 cost. And doing that is very, very difficult, especially just with like how much might generation is currently in Sage. So like, there are a couple ways you can kind of cheat it. Basically, the biggest way is like Seeds of Strength, just like playing a bunch of mites the turn before, and then you play doubling season after. Getting this to line up though is very, very difficult, and you also do have the new card Sprout Strength, which can buff it. So functionally, you're getting like a 0 for 6 if you play Sprout Strength on like a doubling season, which is pretty good. So to kind of support that, we're also running some kind of like active glory and like the suspense auras, like type of effects to kind of just try to bump this up basically as high as we can go. So we have to have 7 separate instances of like auras popping to like buff this, and we also have the Cracker Jacks, which can kind of get kind of doubled that way as well. But those are like the main ways we're trying to buff doubling season. Pummel is also like another one. We can block with like Canopy Shelter. Lots of like incidental little ways to try to buff the doubling season here. And basically like the combo that we're trying to set up. So I've thought about this a lot, and it's like a 3-step process. And we basically have to draw 3 turns in a row perfectly. So the first turn, what we're trying to do is we're trying to draw 1 or 2 suspense auras. So that's why we have so many in the deck. We have a couple red ones, and then a couple blue ones as well. But basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to land at least 1 or 2 suspense auras, or maybe like a suspense aura plus maybe like a potion or something. And that's what we're going to be doing on turn 1. So we have to basically wait 2 turns for the suspense aura to kick down, which then means on the second turn, what we have to do is we have to draw Seeds of Strength, which is like our big kind of like payoff, or like our synergy card, I guess. So we need to draw at least 1 of these, and like also like another thing to do in addition to the Seeds of Strength. So if we draw like 2 Seeds of Strength on the turn, we make, I think that's, I believe it's like 8 or 9 Might tokens, something like that. So we make like 9 Might tokens, plus we have like maybe like 1 or 2 suspense auras. So that's like basically like we're getting like over the rate of doubling season. We're basically getting like the plus 10 or whatever, which is kind of like the dream scenario. And then our ideal turn is like we draw doubling season plus a Sprout Strength, and then we manage to like kill our opponent maybe with like a pommel or something. That's kind of like the end goal here. Now, getting all 3 of these turns to kind of line up, so you have to do the suspense aura turn, plus the might turn, plus the draw Sprout Strength plus doubling season turn. Getting all of that to line up is going to be very, very difficult. Just like drawing 3 perfect hands in a row is kind of going to be the challenge of this deck, which is why we're going to be running Hope Merchant's Hood. I think there's also some merit to running Plume in this deck. So Plume will basically lets you like kind of like double the Sprout Strength. The only issue with Plume is like if you don't draw Sprout Strength, it's like very, very bad. There's not really like many other targets that you'd want to get. Like you could just get like a random, I don't know, like Earth Fruits of the Forest type thing or something, but like overall it's like pretty bad unless you're like specifically drawing Sprout Strength. And even in that case, it's like you're basically just trying to go blue into a Sprout Strength, which is like whatever. So anyways, that's basically what we're trying to do. And we also have like a little mini confidence package to kind of support that. So that's why we're running kind of like the suspense auras, is that, so we can run full of bravado, which is basically the only way that we have to generate confidence tokens. There is actually another card that kind of has a similar effect in Sandstrong. The only downside of Sandstrong is that it requires you to have the Aura of Suspense, so very similar clause, I guess, to the full of bravado. But it also eats into the Mage Master boost, which is a card I think we want to run to just try to set up those like double seeds turns, basically. And this is the deck we're going to be running. So this is basically just a huge pile of jank. I think Tegan's going to probably like edit in the meme where like I'm like jumping through hoops or so, whatever. But yeah, this is going to be probably one of the harder combos I think I'll end up pulling off on this channel. Mainly because I think the Gravy Crazy Brew combo I think was the hardest one, at least in recent memory. And that combo, like, you kind of just like played out a bunch of crap, and like you didn't have to really think about it. But this one, you have to like sequence the draws perfectly. You have to have 3 perfect turns basically of draws to like get this to work. So I have low expectations to be able to do this in like 2 to 3 hours, which is like normally my recording length. But we're gonna give it our best shot and see if we can kill anyone with this deck, which I'm a little bit doubtful. A little bit doubtful. But yeah, I think it's maybe possible, but like I'd be very surprised if we actually got a game over anyone just with like how aggressive the format is. Like we have a lot of better decks like Briar, KO, Kano, like I don't know if this deck can actually survive into like any of those, which is going to be a fun, I guess, experiment to try out. Do you have a moment to talk about Fab Foundry? Fab Foundry is your one-stop shop for all things Fab, and is my personal favorite LGS. They have a great selection of Fab singles, sealed product, and accessories. They're also going to be your host for Pro Tour Las Vegas. You can also use our promo code FleshandBad for 5% off your next order, so go check them out and support our community in Portland. But anyways, we're going to give it a shot, see how it goes, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into the games. Alright, so playing against a Briar, which we know as an unlosable matchup when playing against the, I guess the normal Terra, but I guess we're going to be playing this version of Terra. So, basically what we're trying to do, right, I think I explained this a little bit in the intro, is we're trying to set up a Suspensor on turn 1, which we did, which is good. Now we need to find one of our 4 Seeds of Strength on turn 2, so that we can, like, carry over the Mites and set that up. And then on the 3rd turn, we need to find Doubling Season to like fully get this combo. So I think we did step 1 correctly. The only issue is now step 2 we whiffed on the seeds, which is a little unfortunate. Alright, we do have double Sprout Strength, but I don't think this is going to be enough, especially when we didn't draw the Doubling Season. So I expect most of our games to probably go something like this. And then I'm trying to find like the 1 in a million high roll game where we do all 3 of those steps in a row somehow. Maybe with the assistance of Hope Merchant's Hood, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle. Yeah, we'll see if we can actually resolve all 3 steps, because I'm beginning to lose a little bit of hope, but we'll do our best. So again, we want Suspensor turn 1, Seeds of Strength turn 2, and then kill them on the final turn with Doubling Season. Okay, so we start... Oh, we don't actually have anything in bin for Sotomar, but we can actually put Flourish in bin if we want. Oh, it has to be cost 2 or greater. Maybe we go next. Yeah, I think this is probably going to. Got a KO and they're going first. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a tough one. Alright, we found the Doubling Season. That being said, kind of hoping that they just take like a little bit of a setup turn here. So I think like the dream is like we block 5, we... okay, seems like they're maybe sending it. Savage Feast to finish it off. I think I'm just like faking the 6 here maybe. Feels pretty bad. Alright, so we got the seeds off. But whether or not we're actually going to live to see next turn is, I guess, anyone's guess. Yep, hoping we'll do it. Alright, playing against Goliath, so I think we're kind of just being a little bit of a worse Goliath here, but we'll give it our best shot. God, when you compare this deck to Goliath, it's like, why am I jumping through a million hoops to to do, like, kind of mediocre damage? But I don't know. That's what FTR Fridays is here for. Oh, Mage Master Boots is kind of like anti-synergy with the seeds, right? Like, we don't care too much about the top of the deck, I think. I think most of the cards in our deck are kind of crap. I feel like drawing the Doubling Season is maybe even the hardest part. So what's our play this turn? Probably just die, right? I think that's the play. Again, your draws need to like line up basically perfectly to get this to work. Ah, we're so close. This has to be doable, right? Maybe. Alright, Dory, I think, is one of the decks that we might be able to beat here. Let's go and scoop that one out. There's gotta be some deck we can do this against, like some super slow deck that's not gonna, like, really send damage at us. Like, maybe give us, like, an ultimate or something. It's the same Dory from before, so they might be wise to us, but let's go ahead and give it another shot at least. Alright, scooping this one up. Oh, the format is just, like, way too fast to do this. Alright, slowly losing faith. But surely there has to be a way to do this, right? Can we do it against a Gravy? Hold on. Maybe we can actually do this against a Gravy. Gravy's like pretty slow in Sage. Alright, I think I'll scoop this one up. Back to the drawing board. Yes, I don't know. I'm beginning to lose hope, but we'll kind of give it a shot here. Alright, can we beat a Zen? So I'm kind of hoping they have one of these like mid Zen draws, I think is our overall goal? I don't know. This combo is so like, I know what you have to do. It's just like I don't know how to make my deck draw that exact combo. This deck is just like, yeah. I guess while we're already here, I guess this is coming in for 20, which is not nothing. They could draw like 3 chi, block 3, die. Yeah, maybe I should just like give up on the Civic Guide because like we just need to kill them like as soon as possible. It's maybe the closest game, but it doesn't even feel like we necessarily succeeded in our goal. This might be one of the hardest F tier Fridays I think we've done in a while. 1-1 is not bad. It's probably the closest game I think I've had all night. Can't complain. I mean, I can complain because I'm playing this deck. What if we threw in a little bit of slop? Just like a little healthy amount of slop. We've learned our lesson that maybe we're just supposed to like not run any armor. What could go wrong, right? Alright, so this is a mulligan. Can I make the deck worse? Maybe. Maybe the deck is too bad now. Going back to the drawing board. One last time. Alright, last revision of the deck. Let's see if this maybe does get a little better. Alright, so mulligan? Yes, mulligan. I think we're even getting rid of the Sprout just because, like, the Sprout, you can, like, redraw into it later. And then I think we scoop this up because it's not playable, right? Yes. Okay, so we're gonna die while the doubling season is on the stack, aren't we? Just let us see how much damage this is. How much damage actually is this if you're the blue? No, you can't just kill us on the stack. Let it resolve! What is wrong with you? Alright, so we had 28 damage on the stack and our opponent wouldn't let us see it on the combo chain. Very cringe. Alright, Briar, can we do it? Okay, wait, they don't have arms or legs. Maybe we're cooking here, actually? We won a game! Woo! Let's go! Our opponent didn't present equipment and they scooped in and we won. That's one victory right there. Alright, 23 losses, 1 W. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I think that's probably... Alright, no, we can't do that to our audience, right? Alright, Kano. I think it was like surprisingly doable last time we played against Kano. Maybe this is the secret Kano strat. I think we're doing the bravado again. Give it a shot. I think this is still probably cursed, but maybe this can actually be Kano. If they draw bad and we draw good, maybe we can just like deal too much damage to them. I don't know. Hand's actually not bad for the kind of opener here. You can like gain a little bit of life, AB a little, pitch the Sprout Strength probably. Go ahead and pitch 3. You can always redraw into that with the Hope Merchant's Hood. Go ahead and pad that life total just a little bit there. Your might. This is mulligan. Maybe we should even mulligan the first hand. Entirely possible. Triple mulligan into Active Glory. Seems good. If they're stuck with like reacts here, we could actually be kind of cooking here. We're basically giving them like infinite breathing room though. Okay, they're not gonna take it though. Good for us, I think. Edge is also definitely good, but we're gonna probably be leaking a ton of damage this turn. Kind of depends what they want to go for here. Right, Mage Master is probably a bad sign for us. Could also be okay though. No seeds on turn 2 again, which is unfortunate. Quickening's pretty good. I think we just don't even go for the bravado here. I think we just want to stay healthy so we can at least kind of resolve a doubling season. And we did shuffle our Sprout Strength back, so there's always, I guess, the opportunity to draw into like double Sprout. Is a thing that is possible. It looks like they're gonna crack Potion as oh, for a Fine Dolls, damn. Alright, I think we're just like dying that way then. Yeah. Seems accurate. Sure. I'm still not playing the snapback, which is maybe good for us. Oh, we were hold on, sorry. We were supposed to play the edge at the end of the turn. Alright, another turn where they basically have the free reign. Alright, Maris is pretty good. Hope they don't have another one. That's kind of like an American. Yep, that's alright. Maybe Kano, not quite doable. Right? Okay, we drew a Sprout String. I don't think this is enough though. Maybe it means we don't die. Maybe not on board. Its doubling season is still below rate for a 3 cost, but if we kill them with doubling season, that's what counts, right? Like we're only getting +5 basically on it. This not having any base power is like kind of criminal. Like having to buff this 7 times just to like get it to 3 for 7 is like kind of like feels so difficult. And there's blue Emeritus, but that doesn't kill right away because they can't amp with the whole focus. You have 2 blues in hand, so like maybe they get too greedy here. Maybe get them. Oh, they do have that snapback we know about, right? So that's what they're doing with the other thing. I think they need like one other card though. They need like double snapback or something, or like just a card off the top, like a playable card off the top. Wait, we're gonna kill them here if they're not careful. Oh my god, we might wait. Did we actually just kill them? How much is this? We killed them! Yes! Let's go! Oh, I can't count. They also totally could have just like blocked and killed us on the next turn, but they got greedy! They got greedy! Here, chilling. Wait. He's over there. Where is he? He's over there. I'm sorry, buddy. Oh. Let's go. All right. That counts as a win. That counts as a win. I'm not playing this deck anymore. This deck sucks. Oh god. We didn't even do the full combo. We just like happened to play against Kano and kind of got there. I don't know. Don't play this deck. I'm playing this deck so that you don't have to, and this deck's real bad. All right, so we finally got a kill with doubling season. This has been a roughly 2-hour-long recording session, so maybe if I had refined the deck a little bit more, maybe that would have been a little bit faster. But I think it's about the best that you can maybe do. We tried out a lot of different things in the deck list. Like I think these are the cards I always like trying out. I felt like the E-Pots and the block cards are really clunky. Sprout's Strength and Potional Luck like also like never came up, and I've also tried like Plume a couple of times, but it just like never ended up being super good. Like it is nice if you like draw like the double Sprout Strike thing, but like even that's like kind of bad. Like I think what you're really trying to do is just like filter with Hope Merchant's Hood towards either like your kind of like Suspense Auras or your just like your Seeds of Strength, which again we like never had any of these lined up, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I think again we didn't even do the full combo, but we just happened to kind of luck out against Kano, which is kind of nice. And yeah, I guess anything can happen when you play this deck, right? But yeah, again, I think that unless you're really wanting to torture yourself on Talishar for some reason, I would advise not playing this deck. Doubling season, not quite there. Again, we do have like Skybreaker and Blitz, so maybe it's like a little bit more viable there. But currently the setup is just like way too high. But there's some future proofing for this, right? Like maybe you can run in like a heroic deck or something. Like I think this card might see play at some point. I'm hoping this card won't just become like one of the meme cards in Fab. But I think it's a pretty cool meme regardless. All right, but anyways, hope you all enjoy. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. And a special thank you to all the folks who decided it would be a good idea to give us $2 on Patreon. We really appreciate the support, but it's obviously never required.